Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, how are we getting on? Welcome to a brand new Starfield video. So if you're not following the game quite as obsessively as I am at the moment, then you might have missed this little snippet of news that has snuck out in the last day or so, and there's a little bit of Redfall information on here as well that might be worth a look at, so let's jump in and take a quick look, shall we? Okay, so we've got a little bit of Starfield news, and, well, basically, if you've been following on social media and places like that, then you might have heard about this one, but that is that the Bethesda website got a little update, yesterday, in fact. Basically, this update is specifically to the support pages, so where you go if you've got a problem with your games. I'll throw a link down below for general use if you want to check it out for yourselves, but yeah, basically this update consists of a couple of new additions, specifically support pages for Starfield and for Redfall. So obviously those are the first two coming out in the first half of this year, and there's a little bit of information here which is quite cool. Not a lot, but it's worth having a look. So let's have a quick look at the page here. Okay, so this is the support page, Bethesda's support page. Obviously choose by game and then go for the help you need from there, or for the website if you're looking at that. Starfield is actually a little bit buried, so if we jump back a bit, we've got some older games in there. We'll go a little bit further back again. I'm sure I've gone past where Redfall was now, actually. Maybe not, no. Where are you? There's Redfall, down here. So we'll come back to that in a minute. And here is Starfield. So we've also got a whole bunch of articles down here, most of which are going to carry over when we click on this. But let's do it anyway. Okay, so if you need a support ticket, it'd be kind of pointless with the game not being out yet, but you know, it's there when the time comes. We've also got some related answers over here, which are somewhat interesting. So we've got Starfield's release date, more information about Starfield, and some other stuff that is not particularly relevant right now, I don't think. No. So, release date, that's a big one. Click that one, up comes answer. What is Starfield's release date? Arrives exclusively on Xbox Series S, X and PC in the first half of 2023. So in short, this recently updated page on the website basically says they're on track, so nothing has changed. Not terribly exciting. On the other hand, having confirmation that they are on track for a release this side of the beginning of June is good to hear. It's obviously with the relative quiet sort of the back end of last year, and for the moment there are questions as to whether or not Starfield might get pushed back a little bit further. It's still of course possible that it might, but this is a good sign. So what else have we got here then? When it wakes up, where can we find more information? And I think it's probably the only one that's really interesting. Where can I provide feedback? Okay, so let's go more information on the official website. Yeah, what a surprise. So that is about what we'd expect there. I don't think we've got anything more on here, have we? No. Okay, so let's jump back to the main page. Let's have a quick look at Redfall, because there is a little interesting tidbit on here somewhere. There we are. So, basically the same sort of stuff for Redfall. Same basic setup. And the big question... Ooh, there's a couple of extra things. What characters can I play? And a bit more information. These will all tie together. But the big question here is, when does Redfall come out? And this one, where it gets interesting, coming exclusively to Xbox Series X and S and PC via Steam and Epic Games Store in 2023. Play it day one on Game Pass. So, this is the interesting bit, where Starfield specifically states it is coming out in the first half of the year. Redfall does not. Which is interesting because Redfall, up until now, has been slated to come out ahead of Starfield, and in the first half of the year, as was stated in the summer last year when the initial delay was announced. So that's that's a little bit more interesting and alarming. Now, I mentioned in the video I put up the other day, the channel update I did. When Redfall eventually comes out, it's going to be dwarfed by Starfield. It's just unavoidable. Starfield's going to be such a juggernaut for Bethesda that everything else is going to kind of get fall into its shadow somewhat. So it would kind of make sense for them, and this is the premise they've been working on, to put Redfall out first and Starfield out later. On the other hand, this kind of not having the first half mentioned there kind of ties in with rumours that are floating around on the internet at the moment that Redfall is getting delayed. The rumours out there suggest it's getting delayed till early May. that will keep it in the first half, so why they haven't specified that is strange. It could just be a typo here, or a turn of phrase, and simple as that, and it might actually not mean anything at all. But its open-endedness is interesting, because if Starfield is on target and comes out by June, but Redfall isn't, they might potentially swap it around. If they want to avoid Redfall getting crushed by Starfield, pushing Redfall all the way back to the end of the year would be one way, potentially, of doing that. The big gap between the launch of Starfield and the later launch of Redfall would mean they're not in such direct competition. Not that Bethesda generally see it quite that way anyway, but, whilst you can play both, you can't play both at once, is the point I'm making. So spreading them out makes a bit more sense, and the current scenario, if the rumours are true, very big if, is that they are getting closer and closer together, so it's possible that Redfall might be the one that's getting delayed and not Starfield, and that wouldn't be surprising, because Arcane, well, one of the Arcane houses, specifically though Arcane Xion in France, put out Deathloop not really all that long ago, just over a year now, but obviously Bethesda haven't put a game out since 2018, Bethesda Game Studios, BGS. So Starfield is perhaps a bigger priority for them in that regards, also because of its scale. So interesting to see whether or not that might mean that they'll actually go, okay, they need more time on Redfall, we'll bump it way back, give them a lot more time, and then it's not kind of jostling for attention with Starfield as well in the same way. So who knows? The potential there is quite interesting. Of course, as I say, that could just be a typo, a turn of phrase, whatever, and actually mean absolutely nothing at all, but it's an interesting little tidbit nonetheless. So, yeah, my current theory, based on this, based on everything I've talked about before, obviously I did a video just before Christmas about my theories on the release of Starfield and stuff, and its position, basically because of where and when and how the marketing is set up. It all comes together to suggest that there is no current change in Starfield's launch date, but it's starting to look a little bit more like maybe there will be for Redfall. But we'll have to wait and see. We'll find out, perhaps as soon as the end of this month, the start of next month, depending on whether or not Xbox have this showcase thing that is rumoured. But failing that, we'll find out when they share more direct information. But yeah, hope you found that one a little bit interesting and informative, and enjoyed a little speculation there. If you did, please do consider dropping subs and likes. There will, of course, be more Starfield-related content coming as we draw nearer to launch, and, of course, post-launch as well. And, of course, we are continuing playing Fallout 76 and a few other bits and pieces. If you haven't checked it out, there's a little channel update that I did the other day as my plans and hopes and expectations for the year ahead. So if you're interested, do take a gander at that one. I'll link it somewhere up here for you as well. And yeah, in the meantime, hit all those buttons. You know where they all are. Everybody always asks you to do the same thing, so I'm sure you know by now. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to speaking to you all very, very soon.